Hey everyone, this is Melissa Siudakis, and welcome to A Breath of Fresh Marketing. We are here tonight with Sarah Hester Ross, a world traveling entertainer residing in Las Vegas, performing as a musical comedian, dueling and solo piano player, and a singer songwriter. She has 22.2 thousand followers on Facebook and 1 million followers on TikTok. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine. How's about yourself?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Great. So, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your background and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, sure. Well, as you said, I'm a singer songwriter, musical comedian, and I don't really know how to say how I got started. To say I've been singing and performing since I was 3 years old. My mom um, is a retired elementary school music teacher, and she had me on stage when I was very, very young. So I can't really pinpoint when I started and how I started, but as a professional, my first job as a performer was when I was 11. I got a job at Busch Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
It's a theme
Yeah,
park in Orlando,
I
or
remember
not in
that
Orlando, in
place.
Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing shows and stuff like that. I got into musical theater in college and right outside of college. And then I got heavily involved in dueling pianos in Orlando, and that's kind of where I started my comedy things. uh, does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. That's so cool. I always love going to those dueling piano bars. I always thought there was so much fun.
Oh, they are. I really love doing it. I kind of lucked into it because a girlfriend of mine was a bartender at the club, and she said that they were doing auditions and they specifically wanted female players. And I'm like, okay, well, I haven't played piano since college, but I'll give it a try. The good old college try. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's so bad. Um, but so I auditioned, and I knew music theory, so I kind of like faked my way through a lot of like the pop songs today, and they hired me and they started teaching me, the basics of it, and 8 years later I'm still doing it. So,
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah.
So, can you share your proudest moment of your career so far?
Oh. Mm, the proudest moment of my career. I mean, honestly, I know it sounds kind of silly, but TikTok is really so far the proudest, as far as like as an individual artist, because in dueling pianos, I'm not advertising as myself. I'm at a bar, and so the bar is really the advertising. And
Mm-hmm.
so um TikTok has now given me a pretty big platform, as like I am now the advertising. And so like it is probably the proudest moment of TikTok is when my vibrators parody got 1 million views, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, people like this stuff. Okay, I'll keep doing it. I wrote that for the piano bar, and it did really well in the piano bar, but um, I never realized that it could get me such a mass audience of some sort. So I get
That's so amazing.
it sounds silly, but TikTok is probably my proudest moment at this time in my life.
That's pretty awesome, actually. Very exciting.
It
Uh,
is. It is really exciting.
so, can you remember like the first time where you performed? Did you get like butterflies in your stomach? Did you like puke beforehand? Do you still get that nervous feeling? Like what is that like?
I get nervous when I'm doing something for the first time. Like I got nervous when I went to my first open mic for comedy. I got nervous when I'm at a new bar or a new club. But it goes away very quickly for me. That nervous feeling makes me it keeps me humble in the sense of like, okay, well, this is new and I don't know what's going on, and I'm not sure what to expect, but I'm just going to get out there and do what I do and hope the audience likes it, and vibes with me. So,
Sure.
no, I've never thrown up before, thank God, because that would destroy my voice before a show. I've never had it that bad. I know people who have, but I think it's because I've just been doing it for so long. That nervous feeling, it that is a feeling that I need to feel on the regular to keep me grounded, and because at the end of the day, I'm not curing cancer. So you know what I mean? Like it's fun and shits and giggles, and but I need to keep myself grounded in the sense that what I'm doing is fun, and I need to remember that that's what it is. So
Definitely.
that feeling helps me stay there.
So, what kind of music do you typically perform?
Uh,
What genre?
well, in the dueling pianos, it's all request, which
That's awesome.
keeps me on my toes. And it's very exciting for the audience to see, like, oh, I wonder if they know this song and then they know this song. Um, but if I had my choice, I would do, 70s funk. I love 90s angry chick music. That's kind of more my vibe. But in the dueling pianos, it's all request. So
That's really hard because, and you're right. So when I think back to all the times that I've gone to a dueling piano bar, I would just say, "Hey, do you know Billy Joel, or can you do some Elton John, or can you do whatever?" And you have to know it. I mean,
yeah,
there's no other way around it. I mean, you have to have so much in your musical library brain,
yeah,
right?
yes, definitely. I probably have about 700 songs memorized, and
Wow.
with the iPad, it makes my repertoire even bigger because I can look up the chords or look up the words to a song that maybe I
Hmm.
don't know from memory, but I can make it work. um Really, when it gets exciting, because you're right, Billy Joel and Elton John are kind of like your staples, but then you get people who are like, hey, play Nelly, or hey, play Spice Girls, or like rap for us, do Coolio. And then we pull it out of our butts and we're like, yeah, we can do that for you. And that's when we really get the, oh my god, they knew that song, that's crazy. um and that's when it's most fun for the players like myself. So
How do you use the iPad while you're working? Are
uh
you able to kind of pull up the song and then like see the lyrics, or how does that work?
yeah, that's a good question. Every player is different.
Mhm.
Me, personally, I have a application that has these the songs already there. So, and they are set aside and grouped into, these are the songs I have memorized. These are the songs that I need the lyrics to, but I can play the music. These are the songs that I need the music, but I don't need the lyrics. And if I'm really, really stuck, I can just Google it on
Mhm.
the internet, and 9 times out of 10, someone has charted it. Somewhat, the lyrics are probably up there. If it's popular enough to be requested at the piano bar, it's probably popular enough to be charted on the internet. So um, it's really all about trying to make it look like I'm not doing it, which is the hard part.
Mhm. Right.
Not looking it up, not looking at the lyrics, and so it's really all smoke and mirrors at that point. Like, look over
Yeah.
here for a second while I try to fake my way through this.
Yeah. And plus, you have to figure out the right keys and stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
I could imagine how hard that is because me personally, when I took different instruments as a kid, I always had a hard time reading music. And I used to do everything by ear.
right.
So it was tough, and I know it's really hard to be able to just kind of pull something out of the sky like that. And you have such little time to prepare between each song.
Yeah, that's actually where you get into the ear training of it. Like you say that you were better at the playing things by ear, that's where it comes in handy, because you could hear a song a jillion times on the radio, and okay, so I want to play it in A. You know your circle of fifths, your the basic chord progressions of 90% of pop songs, and you can kind of fake your way even better just by playing something by ear in this kind of scenario. So
Yeah, it's very impressive. Very cool. I always admire people that can do that, and it's definitely not easy. So, but
no,
it's
and I'm still not like the best at it. I've sat across from players who I'm I'm amazed by the way that they just pick up songs and they don't even know it, and it's crazy. So I'm still pretty new in comparison to a lot of the players that have been doing it for 20, 22, 25 years. Um, so I'm still in awe of players and partners that I play with that are just like unbelievable at it. So I still have a long way to go, but it is pretty impressive. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely fun. And then plus, the atmosphere. People are
Oh yeah.
drinking. They're singing along with
Oh, it's a
you, right?
party. Yeah,
That's got to be a great fun feeling.
it definitely is.
But so tell me about the biggest roadblock you faced in your career so far and how you overcame it.
Well, that's a pretty easy question for me, because when I got out of college, I started heavily auditioning for musical theater stuff. I lived in Orlando, so there was a lot of opportunity for that. And I got this show, and I started touring with it, and I'm not really sure how it happened. I still haven't pinpoint that down, but I got scar tissue on my left vocal cord.
Oh
And
no.
so even now to this day, I've gone through rehab and stuff like that, but it vibrates slower than my right one. So I had a pretty big range before that happened, and it stopped me in my tracks, for a lack of a better phrase. And I was very scared that my career of performing was over. And that's kind of
Wow.
why dueling pianos kind of saved my life, in the sense of, like we were just talking about keys. In dueling pianos, I can pick whatever key I want because I'm playing my accompaniment to it. And so when I auditioned for dueling pianos, Howl at the Moon in Orlando, it was very enticing for me because I was able to pick whatever key I wanted. I didn't have to do the original key. I could transpose down a whole step to make it more comfortable for my injury and my issues and what I was dealing with at the time. Now, because of my voice teacher and voice therapy and uh, different ways of getting around my injury, now I'm not back to my original voice, but I have found ways to make it work. And uh, almost even times I'm singing healthier than I ever did when I was young and I had that range. And that's just maturity in singing. When you're young, you're like, I'm invincible and I can do all these notes. And well, I wasn't invincible, and I paid for it. But thankfully, like I said, through voice lessons and therapy, I'm kind of back to a healthy, viable voice that I can have a career with.
Wow. That's quite a story. You never think about that kind of stuff. It's, what, singers and songwriters don't really discuss. So you don't always hear that kind of stuff and, the struggle behind the scenes,
It's
right?
actually very common. Because our vocal cords are just muscles, and so, like I said,
Hmm.
when you're young and you're just like, I'm invincible, I can hit these notes, and I'm amazing, but you don't do it correctly, and you don't get proper training on how to do it, then you grow up and your muscles get weaker because of age, and you lose it, and it's devastating to career performers and career singers, um, because either you give up or you have to drastically change what you've been doing all your life and figure out a new way, which is what I did. And it took, years to do. But
Hmm.
you're right. It's not talked about enough because when it happens to people like Adele and to people like Ed Sheeran, they're like, oh, that's crazy. Like this is your livelihood. Don't. But that's only because they're famous. You're hearing about it. I would
Right.
say 9 out of 10 performers have vocal issues that they have to deal with, but because they're not famous, it's just not a widely known thing. But it happens all the time.
For sure. So, what's your favorite song?
Ooh, I don't have a favorite song.
Really?
That's really hard. I have a favorite, like, not even song. I have a favorite, like, album right now, which is
Okay.
Lizzo's last album that she put out. Uh, I love every single song on that album. She is amazing.
Okay.
I want to be her when I grow up. Uh, uh, Probably her favorite song. My favorite song on that album is called "Like a Girl," and
Okay.
if you haven't heard it, it's just unbelievable. It's this. The topic is like I throw it like a girl. That term growing up. If you throw baseball like a girl. It was a cut down for boys. Like, oh, you throw like a
Hmm.
girl, and she took it and made it into this positive side where, like, yeah, I throw like a girl and I do all this stuff. It's so brilliant. She is so brilliant. And anyway, I like that. That's probably to answer your question.
Well, I haven't heard it, but for myself and all the listeners, could we get a little sample?
Yeah. Let me do it, and I'll throw it like a girl. If you feel like a girl, feel like a girl. Do your thing, run the whole damn world. If you cry like a girl, not like a girl, do your thing, run the whole damn world.
Wow. Damn. That last note was
Oh, but
amazing. Wow.
and she does
Bravo.
it, and
That's
she
amazing.
that oh my gosh, it's so good. And I didn't even do all the lyrics. Lyrics are the bane of my existence. I like have so many in my head, I forget them constantly. Even songs that I listen to every day, like that one, I couldn't even remember the lyrics. But that's kind of the gist of it. It's amazing. You should definitely check it out.
I will. I love that. That was amazing. I'm just like blown away.
No
Thank you for
problem.
that.
Yeah.
So, of course, COVID-19, blah, blah, blah. It's, just constantly
Yeah,
something
right. Blah
we
blah
have to all
blah. That
like,
is like the motto of 2020, man.
blah, blah, blah. So freaking over it already. I wish it would just go away. But how has that changed things for you as far as, performing in bars and things like that? Like, what's kind of the new way for you?
Well, COVID shut my industry down completely. Vegas was closed down. All the casinos were closed
Right.
down. Now the casinos are back open, but
Hmm.
there hasn't been live entertainment in Vegas for almost 6 months. They just gradually started doing like ambient things and background music, so solo stuff. So I do have a couple of gigs like that booked in October, but it shut us down, and it was devastating to say the very very least. Um,
Yeah.
uh, it was hard, but that's when I turned to TikTok, and that's when I turned to social media because I had all this time
There you
now,
go. Hmm.
and stuff that I would normally be doing in the piano bar, I just started putting on TikTok, and people seemed to dig it. So it's actually been a extremely positive thing for me, the shutdown, because things that I would never have had time to focus on and gain this audience, I did now. So
Mhm.
I'm kind of torn between the whole like, yeah, it was completely devastating, and I've been out of work for 6 months, and that's been really really scary. But at the same time, TikTok and social media just kind of saved me on it. I did try the whole live stream thing, and
Okay.
um, I didn't love it. I was
Yeah.
I was so distracted by everything, reading the comments, trying to take tips and
Yeah.
stuff like that, which is normally what I do in real life. But for some reason, just being in a room by myself, I just couldn't get the same vibe of it. So I didn't want to try to
Yeah.
pretend like I could I could do that on I could I can't think of the word, replicate the piano bar feel.
Yeah.
I didn't want to pretend like I could do that. So I kind of gave up on that pretty quickly. But again, it just gave me more time to focus on the short videos and TikTok, and I learned a lot about recording and video editing. And it's just because I had the time to do it. So
And I couldn't even imagine what that's like. So, here you are, Sarah Hester Ross live, and then it's like, you're reading the comments. Hey, what's your Venmo so I can give you a tip? Like, how does
yeah.
that work?
Again, I tried to be all super professional about it, and I downloaded this production app, and I had all my like uh, information at the bottom of my screen, and it was so fancy looking. And then I realized, as a non-professional live streamer, my internet was not good enough for this, and so I was crashing, and I was so embarrassed by the whole thing. And in
No.
when you're live on stage, you just kind of roll with the punches. But when you're live streaming, it's like this could be devastating. Like this could be thousands and thousands of people watching, and it is just absolute pure shit. And so, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that anymore. But it was pretty crazy, and I've seen people do it really well. I didn't feel like I was going to be one of those people.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
you tried it, and I could totally see the vibe not being there because you don't have everyone
Yeah.
around you and singing and yelling and clapping, and
It
it's just
is.
different. You're just
It
by
is.
yourself, and you're in this quarantine. And speaking of, well, what's your quarantine obsession? What's been helping you kind of get through this time?
Um Again, I hate to be a broken record, but TikTok, man, I have not only am I on it and I feel very blessed and happy for my semi success on it, but I have met some amazing creators from TikTok, and we've actually become semi friends and semi acquaintances. I've done collabs with people that I have admired for years. I have found new comedians and musicians that I search for their content, and it's really kept me kind of alive and being like, oh my gosh, there's so much talent in this world that is now being broadcasted because of TikTok. And again, I'm not sponsored by TikTok yet. So this has nothing to do with the app. I'm not hyping them. I'm not being paid by them, but I just think it's the best that I've ever
Yeah,
experienced on social media.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. There's a lot of great videos on there. It's very
Yeah.
entertaining. So, and you've gotten like a million followers on there, so it's
It
pretty
is.
awesome.
It's pretty humbling, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Are you a little nervous about like all the talks about potentially banning TikTok in the midst of this TikTok deal that's
Yeah, I'm
coming
not.
up?
I'm not going to pretend that I think it's bullshit, but I kind of feel like it's a play. Uh, I think that if they were to ban it, the the First Amendment would that it would just be a whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anybody wants to be participant in that. I think it's a great idea for it to be transferred to an American company. I think that would be cool. So again, I don't know. I'm not scared because I do kind of think that it's all just like a scare tactic for clicks and pushes but I'm not a professional. I don't know. I don't really know.
Hopefully we can weather the storm and they can make the deal and everything will be
Either
fine.
way, I mean, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing on other social media platforms. I have started putting all my Florida Man stuff on YouTube, and I'm going to continue to do that. I started a Patreon. So I'm creating content just for those members. So, I mean, even if TikTok does go away, which I really don't think it will, but, you know, again, not a professional. Don't take my opinion as law. It is just that an opinion. But I'll keep doing it. I'll keep pushing and creating for the people who have found me and connected to me on other social media platforms.
Sure. So tell us about your plans for the future. Do you have any projects in the works that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'm going to start actually putting out all of my audios, my most popular audios from TikTok. I'm going to start putting them on Spotify. I have an album coming out, which is going to be a gift to all my followers for hitting 500K. And yeah, that's going to be a project of mine that I'm going to start doing on the regular, that if they want me to put my audios out, then, you know, if they keep sharing it and it gets popular, then I'm going to start doing that.
That's awesome. So what are your social media handles you'd like to share with all the listeners?
All of my, it's really easy. And because I'm so humble, it is my name, Sarah Hester Ross, 2 H's, 2 R's. That is all my social media. So on every platform, it's at Sarah Hester Ross.
Nice. Well, thanks so much for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you. Of course. I wish you luck, and hopefully Las Vegas will be booming again soon, and you can get back out there. And I look forward to watching more of your TikToks. So keep them coming.
Definitely.
All right. Have a great night. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, this is Melissa Sioudakis with A Breath of Fresh Marketing. Take care, everyone. Thanks.